Hey, this is Matt. Once again, what about you in the videos, the paid request? It's time for the movie reviewer next door. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is a film called High Heat from 2022. And I thought at the end of the day, this was okay. It was alright. It was an alright time waster. It stars Olga Kurilenko. I know she was in Quantum of Solace as the Bond woman. I think she was in that Hitman movie with Timothy Olyphant. She was in Black Widow. She was the Taskmaster. You know, the one that when the suit was on, it was a guy, but when you take it off, now it's a girl. But she didn't do a too bad of a job here. She really didn't. And it's her and it's Don Johnson. I'm a fan of Don Johnson. I didn't go with Miami Vice like other people did. I did see it later on, and I did like it, especially the first two seasons. Love Dead Bane. That's a very underrated Don Johnson film from 1989, give or take, directed by John Frankenheimer. Dead Bane, very good, very solid flick. But sadly, I mean, other than doing Nash Bridges, and he does a film here and there. Code in July, that's a pretty good one. But he didn't get a whole lot of movies to star in later in life. I think he was in Knives Out, that film from the director of The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson. But like I said, I always liked Don Johnson. So it was nice to see him in here. They play a couple who own a restaurant, and it's opening day, and things are going well, but it's very hectic, it's very busy. And then one thing leads to another. Don Johnson owes money to the mob, 1.2 million, and they come to collect, and he's like, hey, let's talk about this. Also, maybe accepted the idea of letting them torch the place down and collecting the insurance money. His wife don't like that, but they both have secrets. Don Johnson, the debt to the mob, which she finally finds out. And her secret was she was an ex-KGB agent. So she knows how to fight, kick ass. And a good chunk of the movie is kind of bad guys come into her kitchen and her kicking their ass, shooting them, and putting them in the freezer. That's a good chunk of this movie. Now, number one, it moved at a pretty fast pace. I mean, with the end credits, it's like an hour and 24 minutes, give or take. Pretty quick, pretty short. Doesn't overstay its welcome. I mean, without the credits, it's like 70 some minutes. So I appreciate that. Olga Kurilenko, I thought she worked well. The fight scenes looked decent enough and believable enough. Her acting wasn't too shabby. She didn't come off as too bitchy or too greedy or too... I don't know why I said greedy, but... Oh, I hate men. Like, they don't do any political BS. None of that stuff. They don't shove down our throats, which I appreciate. She cared for her husband. She's upset that her husband decided to do this, which I don't blame her. Don Johnson, I wish he had a bit more to do. For good chunk, he's kind of just a dumb idiot, the way I looked at it. But he does, I do like that eventually he does stand up for his wife, and he does try to help her out. Again, he doesn't have a whole lot to do. So if you're thinking he's going to do a lot of action, maybe like one thing or so, one or two things, but not much, which is too bad. I get it, Don Johnson's a lot older, but still. But it would have been nice to see him do a bit more, so I think he could have been utilized better. That's just my opinion. Interesting that the head mob guy is Diamond Dallas Page. It's me, DDP, bang. I mean, he didn't do a bad job, but it's always nice to see DDP in there. Yeah, I'm a fan of Diamond Dallas Page. I did watch WCW back in those days, and he was one of my favorites. I know he does a lot of that Yoda stuff that he likes to market a lot. I was almost surprised they didn't have an advertisement for DDP Yoda, but he did help out folks or try to help out other folks, and seems like a nice guy. And like I said, he actually fit well in this role. Not too bad. I don't know if he worked with Don Johnson before. He might have been. I wonder if he was on Nash Bridges. Or maybe I'm thinking of someone else. I could be thinking of someone else to be now that. But I didn't watch much of Nash Bridges, to be fair. So, which is the other Don Johnson TV show. The bad guys weren't too bad, as in, they didn't get too much on my nerves. It's definitely a comedic action movie. Yeah, I wouldn't say it took itself 100% seriously. So it made it kind of a light, breezy affair. There's a bit where Olga is beating the shit out of these two guys with a frying pan. There's another bit where there's this guy who's a masseuse Gary who is forced by DDP to go along with it. He doesn't want to. And he gets scared. He gets locked in the freezer. And Olga beats the hell out of the other guy and then threatens Gary. But Gary, very, very scared, very, very freaked out. Some may be annoyed by his character, but I don't know. He did make me chuckle once or twice with his energy. I kind of wish that he would have somehow stayed with, like, I'm safer here, and then maybe worked up some courage and helped out with our two leads, but no. I mean, that would have been better. Instead, he runs off. And the big detriment to this film to me, it keeps cutting away to his Olga calls an old friend that she hasn't talked to in a long time. It's another lady who has this husband who's very much kind of self-help, listen to the psychiatrist. Hey, trying to have this nice, calm demeanor and trying to talk about the feelings. And they have two girls that are pretty much the twins from The Shining, which they do make that joke. So I do like that that was on purpose. But they're just there, like the two daughters are just there to be obnoxious, bratty, and go, why are we here? Why don't you guys just get divorced already? And this married couple that just argue and get pissy at each other. And then later on, I don't know if I'm going to kill my friend. I mean, I liked her, but then, she left me. And like the guy kind of, throughout his manning up a bit more and more, I don't give a shit about this married couple. I thought they were irritating. I thought they were annoying. I wanted them to shut up. I wanted them to get out of the way. And I don't think you needed this. I really don't think you needed this couple. I think the movie found them a lot funnier than I did. I think the movie found them a lot more entertaining than I did. Fuck that couple. Fuck their two teen to adult kids. And when it kept coming back to them, I would roll my eyes and go, you know what? This works a lot better when it's back in the restaurant. I think it would have worked better if Olga had give Don Johnson more to do. You'd even have that masseuse guy Gary and have a bit of character arc where throughout it he mans up a bit more and more and helps out and gains a little bit of courage. And the three of them are taking on the bad guys and utilize more of the restaurant. Because most of the restaurant is just the kitchen and the freezer. That's what we see. The kitchen, the freezer. I think in the kitchen they could have even been more clever with how she killed bad guys. They do a little bit of that, but I think they could have done more where, like, burn someone's face and put some makeup effects on, and here's a drawer with all knives and just throwing all these knives to make someone to a pincushion or all sorts of stuff. I think there's more you could have utilized. Same with the whole restaurant motif and the whole restaurant setting. I think there's other areas of the restaurant. It may seem like the restaurant is only this kitchen and the freezer. That's it. Like it's not until the very very end where they get into the other parts of the restaurant and you get a bit back and forth shootout. But like I said, Olga carries it fairly well. She handles the fight scenes fairly well. There's not a whole lot of CGI that I noticed. At least that was obnoxiously done. Like there's a bit where someone has a Molotov and she hits the guy gets on fire, and that's done practical. Kudos to the stuntman doing that. But yeah, it was short, it was fast paced, it was light and breezy enough that it was nothing to really get that mad over. Like I said, I liked Diamond Dallas Page to see him in there. Nice to see Don Johnson in there. I wish Don Johnson was used more, utilized a bit more and a bit better. Take away the other married couple and their stupid kids, teen kids. Like, take that shit away, please. Find them a bus to catch or something with their face. And there's not a whole lot to say because it's pretty straightforward, and that's pretty much the movie. I mean, again, the spoilers. By the third act, Diamond Dallas Page has called this. They look like a SWAT team to come in. Olga set up this trap to electrocute a good chunk of them. A bit of back and forth firefight. That married couple, the lady comes in to kill some. And then her and Olga have unfinished business and they're fighting back and forth. Don Johnson has two moments. Don Johnson shoots some of the bad guys saying, "Table for five, no walk-ins," and shoots him with a double barrel shotgun. He gets wounded in the leg, and then when the lady has a gun on Olga, Don Johnson has a gun on her and says, "Put the gun down." So there's that. But it's not like a whole lot. I don't know, I just... Like I said, it was alright, but it's not a film I would rewatch again. That's what I mean, it's a time waster. Saw it once. I've seen much worse. It's decent for what it needed to be. What is this something I would ever watch again or buy, own? No. But I would say if a rainy day or a cloudy day and you need another action film to watch just for, you know, past 70, 80 minutes, you could do a lot worse. You could do a lot worse. So there's that. Like I said, I could see where improvements could be made. Like I said, take that couple and their fucking kids out and use the restaurant more. Use locations of the restaurant more. Be even more creative with the restaurant items. And I think you could have let Don Johnson get in some fun with that. I think you could have had a really more of a fun, entertaining movie. But it is what it is. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.